moving on from that. So when you now come back from England now,
Yeah.
what made you get into the fitness?
Okay.
Was it something that you learned in Nigeria already, or what made you think that when I come here I'm gonna get into fitness, I'm gonna get into my health and things like that? Because obviously when I saw you, obviously you was always a lean person, you know, you always had your muscles and all that, but it wasn't. I never saw you get into seriously like the way when you came back from Nigeria, like you got into it seriously, like where you started working on different parts of your body. I see that you started going gym regular, you started having like classes teaching people how to work out and stuff like that. So what made you get into all of that? What made you think that let me get into my fitness?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been involved in sports. Football has been the main thing that I've been involved in physically growing up. A lot of people know me for that. Obviously, when I didn't make it into football, I thought to myself, what's the next best thing I can do in and around sports? And I've always wanted to do something sporty. I'm a sporty person, you know. I like sports science. I like the science behind the biology of the effects in working out, you know. So that interests me. So I always knew that I was going to do something sport related. I didn't know that I was going to do personal training per se. That's what I do. That's the main thing that I do, personal training. So it's a strange situation, to be honest, because I learned the idea to become a fitness professional from prison.
Okay.
And this was after I came back from Nigeria. So still trying to avoid like so many vices in society, I ended up in jail.
Okay.
You know, and this was about 2 years after I came back from Nigeria. So I got a job, I was working, I got another job, and I think I had another job even. But after some time, I thought to myself, this is not enough. I want to do something else. I need more. I had friends that were involved in certain activities that led me to prison, basically.
Okay.
And I got because I decided to get involved with them. You know, I will never allow someone to take responsibility for my own decisions, because I put myself there. You know, I could put myself anywhere, but I decided to be around those people. I feel like that comes from the craving of wanting to be around them, man, them so much, you know, like just bringing myself to that attachment when it was unnecessary.
Okay.
I had so much potential to do other things, but because my mind was dormant at the time, I fell into the hands of just idleness, you know, and then that kind of led me to just going to prison. Obviously, like I used to just be involved, like I said, being involved in like so many like incriminating acts. So that just basically took me there, and that's the decision that you can choose to make. You can choose to make a righteous decision and do something purposeful, meaningful for your life, or you will just become idle and end up doing things that you don't want to do, and it will just put you into trouble. So yeah, I went to prison, and I got sentenced for 3 years, and I spent about 8 months on tag. And I spent a year behind the door. So, and then when I came out, I spent the rest of the time on license. But it was when I was inside that I realized that I want to really work on my physique.
Okay.
I didn't.
So, when you came back from Nigeria, after staying here for a while, you then ended up getting into some trouble that then ended you in prison.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you said, like you said, you was getting involved in like, so what, so you're saying that it wasn't, nobody convinced you or anything like that, but then what made you think to then, obviously you went to Nigeria because of problems and stuff like that, obviously, which in probably not the same problems that you went to prison for.
No.
But what made you then come back again and then think like, let me get back into this?
Like I said, I feel like it was a craving of wanting to be around the man them so much. Like and obviously the things that they were involved in were incriminating. Okay. And I incriminate myself by being around them. Because I got myself involved in a lot of things that they were doing. There wasn't necessarily things that I was doing because I don't have a track record of doing those things. You know, like I play football. A lot of people know me for that, you know.
So it's because you was around them.
Yeah, I would say so.
Just purely just hanging around them, or was you
not necessarily?
Not that, but was you? Let's say
that's the gateway.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? That's the gateway to lead into do so many things. And when you're, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but when you are a legendary person, people will want to bring you involved in things. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what happened. You know, people remembered who I was.
And they were like, come.
You know, and then I thought to myself, do you know what? After time, when I look back on the situation now, I think I lacked that leadership for myself at the time. You know, I needed to remember my purpose, and I didn't. And I think that comes from idleness, like when you don't have
nothing to do.
When you don't have that motivation to do something purposeful, like you will end up. It's just like basically like if you don't follow your dreams, you'll help someone else build theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same kind of concept, and that's what it was. Yeah, so I ended up doing some regrettable things that I had to learn lessons from, and I went to prison. But again, I used that situation I was in to benefit myself. I stopped smoking at the time. I started working on my physique so tenaciously. Like I started working out with some Russians. This is how it all started. I was in Pentonville.
Okay, before you get into that, so you've never been to jail before then, innit?
No,
so
I've
now
never been to jail.
You come back from Nigeria, all of these things.
Right.
So now your first day in jail, like when you found out that shit, I'm about to actually now do some time. I've been sentenced. I'm about to do time. How was your first day in jail? Like how is it like walking into the jail? Like
I would like to think that I come from a righteous family, and basically me going to jail it's almost like not an abomination, but like
it was a disappointment.
It's a disappointment. It was a major thing,
especially after
all of that. You know,
you think that you've changed now.
Yeah, basically. But this is why I believe that therapy and follow through is very important for people, because if I had realized certain things, I would have understood that I'm following certain patterns again that would lead me in certain ways. You know, and that naivety, you know, when you're young, can lead you. That's what I'm saying. When you've got a lack of guidance around you, it can lead you to do things that you don't even know what you're doing, basically, you know. So when I went to prison, basically, I learned that I need to start taking care of myself. I'm in this situation now. I can't take it back. I've gone through the whole phase of being in Africa. Now I'm going through this. And what I had gone through in Africa really had built me up to withstand me going to prison, because I'm not going to lie, me going to prison was a walk in the park for me. Like it was nothing compared to what I had gone through in Nigeria at all. Like I had gone through, so I had fights with my uncles. I had times when I didn't know what was happening the next day, like just that anxiety. Like there was so much I had to deal with that I don't believe over here going to prison had matched that level of distress, you know. So when I was there, the only thing I was really distressed about, my sister had a baby and I wasn't able to be there for her and the baby. So that's the major thing that really got to me. Like I didn't really have any issues with people, didn't really have any issues like that in general, you know. So time just kind of went on, and then I realized I need to take care of myself. So this is when I started to start working out. I started working out with some Eastern Europeans. We started doing loads of cardio together. That's how it started.
In jail, basically.
This was in Pentonville, yeah.
So we see when you walk into jail, was in there like another pressure to hang around with certain people, or
no?
What mindset did you go to jail with? Like, as in, I'm just gonna do my time and mind my own business. How did you like? When you went to jail, how did you go in? Because people always think that when you walk into jail, there's these guys that are just going to walk up to you and be like, yo, well, why did you come in here? And you have to say, I came because of this. And then all of a sudden they make you like choose whether you're with them, and they start bullying you. Like explain like, how is Pentonville like? Someone like, let's say someone now that knows they're about to go to jail for the first ever time, explain. The first time going to jail, how is like, what they do, like, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what, personally, like, I didn't know what prison was like. So I never had anxiety about prison. I just didn't know what to expect. I was basically just taking each step of the way as the way it comes. When you go through the process of going from the circle van into the jail, when you're doing the whole registration into a holding cell, from the holding cell transitioning into, I was just taking it as it comes. I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that I'd never had any issues with anyone like that. And I knew that I could hold my own if I had to. And I knew that I was a humble person. So I knew I'd be calm, to be honest. Like I trusted my energy. I felt like I'm the kind of person, you look me in the eye, you're going to know whether or not like I'm real or not, or whether or not you want to take it there or not. I felt like I believed in myself in that sense. So I wasn't necessarily scared or anxious to that point. I just felt, you know what? You've been through so much. Embed that into yourself right now, because you're stronger than this situation. You can come out of this. You're probably going to be in here for a year and you'll be out. Then I look at situations around me, 16 years here, 10 years here, 4 years there, and I think to myself, bruv, you're good. Right. You're out next year, fam. Forget about it. Stay out of trouble. You're done. That's my mentality at the time. I thought.
And also maybe because you already had kind of that same type of feeling when you was going to Nigeria back then. So when you went there again, it was all it probably was for you just to let me just adapt to life in here.
Exactly, like adaptation. So what going to Nigeria had built for me is the power to adapt. You know, to literally like just assimilate with your surroundings and become one with it and understand, you know what, there's not much you can change but yourself and your mentality. That's the most thing that you can change. That's the best thing that you could change in this situation. So when I stepped into that situation of going to prison, I was equipped mentally to deal with it. And I don't think everybody was or is, and that's to them. But this is where you can benefit from a situation. Like, you just have to change your perception from it. And then for me, again, it was the best thing that happened to me because I learned fitness. I learned the importance of taking care of yourself, and I've literally ran with it since then. I've been in